Happy Easter. Yes. Hey, Beth. Nice to see you as well. Happy Easter. All right. I just got back in from town. I actually had to go to town today, grab some cigarettes, and uh, I end up seeing my neighbors along the way. I got myself a line on a burn barrel, which is nice. Plus, he taught me some stuff. And it's not windy outside, but I'm kind of tired from the walking in from town, so I don't think I'm gonna be working on the project that I wanted to. For some reason, my hips are really bothering me. Don't know why. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you around the property. We're gonna go do a walk because I have found we're finding stuff and stuff like that. And plus, I want to kind of show you what I learned from Rustaman, because on Tuesday morning I'm gonna interview Stephanie, and then probably Tuesday afternoon I'm gonna do it as a live stream as well. It's probably not gonna be very long, maybe a half hour long, and I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna interview Rustaman, and he's gonna kind of show you a little bit of what he's been showing me. And after this, well, when I go over on Tuesday, I'll make sure to put his channel link in the description. That way, if you guys want to go check him out, he's pretty smart. He knows the more organic things that he's doing. He's kind of showing me around his garden and stuff like that, kind of how he gets the nutrients and things like that. And he told me that the soil is highly acidic. I told him about doing a soil test, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't even worry about that. I says, I know, but it's still. And he also told me how to kind of get my composting pile going, and how to be able to keep moisture and stuff like that. So let me kind of show you something here. I probably shouldn't have done that. Here, hold on. I need to adjust my tripod and for a second, guys, so that I can actually carry it around. All right, that should be good enough. Okay, so as you guys see, there's still a little bit of snow on the ground. Samantha, get your butt back over here. I need to put her on the leash. So, but if you look down here, what he's telling me is at the base, this is where all the good stuff is. This is where not organic material. I forget what name he called it, but there's a lot of like I don't know, bacteria and stuff like that that will help break down the fertilizer that you put in. And he told me like it takes about 2 years to get black dirt if you do things a certain way and stuff like that. Samantha, come here now. Cheeseburgers down there. That's what she's doing. She wants to go see the cows. Little girl, come on. You're going to be on a leash. You don't know how to stay where you're supposed to. So hold on a second, guys. Come on. So, and he was also telling me that the ash from this, and so I need to have a specific pile just for that. So I'll have the burn barrel, but he was saying that once you dry them out, the ash from that is actually really, really good for the soil as far as like when you're doing your composting or even when you're doing your planting. Come here, Sam. So sit. I said sit. Come on, little girl. You know how this works. You don't follow instructions. Yes, I know. You're loved. Don't worry. You're loved. You just don't know how to follow instructions. Yes, you don't know how to follow instructions. All right. But so he was telling me, so when I go to fill up my garden with dirt and stuff, this is going to be where I need to harvest my dirt from. And also just kind of like pruning these trees up a little bit so that they kind of grow up. I'm gonna have to. I already we Farm Girl and I kind of figured out what ones we wanted to do just with these couple, but I wanna at least manicure these a little bit so that they start growing straight up, and they will also kind of act as a greater wind barrier. As time goes along, I may have to get Stephanie's permission from that, but um, I want to see if we can get some pines in here. If we can get some pines in here, then I will put them up over here along the property line so that I can whatchamacallit, so that I can use it as kind of like a wind barrier for me and my trailer and stuff like that. Now, I will talk to my neighbors about it too, because it's not that you necessarily need approval from your neighbors, but your neighbors tell you what'll work and what doesn't work, and what they recommend. And also, you know, they don't want you bringing something in that's going to be destructive to them, so they're going to kind of steer you away from that as well. What we're going to do is, now that I have a straight line shot of a visual, I'm thinking, because I want to take you guys with me to go look at this other peg. Let's see if we can find a general vicinity of the actual peg down here, because I really would like to find, I know where 3 corners are. I just need to find the 4th corner. And when I do that, then I kind of have, I don't have to worry about paying for a, what do you call it, for a survey to have them come out and put in pegs. Because it looks like, I don't know if people pulled them out for whatever reason, but it should be right around here. And I haven't seen it here. And there's really not a lot of rocks around here and not a lot of stuff. But, you know, I'm wondering, because I saw it, I'm wondering, because right there is the peg. So if I'm square with it, it should be right here somewhere. Now, if I look line of sight right about there, here, let's see, right about there is, that looks like a straight line of sight. So this should be my 4th corner right here. Now I have two things that kind of said that they were my corner. One was this, but that's kind of off from, I think I found it. Holy shit, I found it. Holy crap. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Wow. Okay, so I found it just by happenstance. I was looking down here because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Is that really square? So, so I found it. How the hell do I mark this? So from there, okay, hold on. So I found it here. Cool, guys, we found it. What's up, Bucknut? Yeah, so here's where it's at. Here is where my peg is. I finally freaking found it, because it said it was all the way up there. And I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense, because I can't seem to find it. So, hold on. How do I... Shit. Hey, what's up, War Donkey? How do I... Crap. Huh. Okay, so I found this corner. So, and there. So hold on, let's see if I can find... Okay, so this is about where it's at, right here. Okay, so let's walk straight and see what we find out. Because I know my trailer's within the property line, but I finally found the 4th peg. It's about damn time. I've been looking for that thing for months, and I haven't been able to find it. What's up, Bucknut, by the way, if I didn't say hi to you? Good to see you. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it sounds about right. So all I got left to move, now that I found the 4 pegs. Hold on, let me make sure. So when I'm looking at this, so I got just a barely top of this. Okay. So I really got a lot of that hill, huh? Wow. Okay. So all right. I don't have to pay for a survey. You know, that just saved me $900. Okay, so walking straight from there, yeah, because I can see the can, I can see where it's at. Okay, now I have an idea. Now I know what my property looks like. So I've got this peg down here. You guys saw the new peg that I found down there, plus the peg that I found down there. Okay, so the only one that's missing and isn't there is the one over here. And that one, because one of my neighbors has a tax lien on it, him and I came to some sort of agreement, because if he ends up getting the property through the tax liens, then yeah, if he ends up getting the property through tax liens, then he will I'll get it sold to me. Okay, so I got that there. Okay. Wow. That kind of, well, this part right here, pretty much the front of the property. Okay. What I may end up having to do is put things at a slant, like kind of like 2 bricks to 1 brick. That way it can kind of sit there at an angle. But you know, I'm stoked. I finally found all 4 corners. I have finally found all 4 corners. That is freaking awesome. All right, because that saved me $900 if I could find 1 peg, and if I couldn't have found any pegs, it'd cost me $3,000. So this cost me a lot, or saved me a lot. Sam, not quit it. Oh look, yeah, the cows like to hang out here. There's a bunch of young calves that were out here earlier. There's a couple of them. Here, I'll let you guys see. Yeah, this is what we call farm fresh beef right here. You know, you get to watch it be raised and then go down to the store and buy it after it gets processed. Oh man, that thing kind of, okay. So I found that peg. Okay. And so since I know where the other peg is, because I marked it with rocks, we're looking at something right about here. Okay. So from here to here, that is my property. So everything over here, all the way down to that rock. Awesome. I think that's where the 1.04 comes from, is because they probably had to move it a little bit to the right, because it was because of right where that peg got put. So let's see what you guys got to say. Okay, so I see Bucknut's in here. I see Matt's in here. Okay, happy Easter, guys. Beth, stuff to burn. Hey, Tuck, is he the one who helped reposition the trailer? Yeah, the trailer. Rostaman, no. My other neighbor who bought the tax lien is the one that helped me with the trailer. Right on. Good to have a knowledgeable local to talk with. Well, yeah. Let's see. Let's go see Cheeseburger. No, because they got a bull out there, and I don't want to get too close. It'll piss them off. Some ash is good. You can also make biochar. Okay. Oh man, glad he's filling you in on local soil. Okay. Cypress and pines are suitable. Yeah. Okay. Yes, pines dig some acidic soil. May need some extra additives to their soil to get them started. Okay, good to know. Okay, exciting talk. I want to say hello to all of you, especially today. Okay, happy Easter, Bucknut. Okay, okay, what's up, War Donkey? Property marker, you mean Tuck? Yeah, well, I call them pegs. Yeah, best to get a surveyor. Don't go by any plats at town. Yeah, well, that's why it's so important that I find these pegs, or these posts, or whatever you want to call them, is because it was already surveyed. I'm just trying to find their work, and it takes a minute, because you kind of have some general coordinates, but you still got to kind of search around the area. And I was kind of trying not to go down the hill, and I finally did today. So, is that your corner pin? Yes, that's my corner pin. Pile up rocks, make a wall, genius. No shit, Sherlock. Guys, if you can obtain property for cost of a tax lien, will there be any other cost thing of ongoing property? Well, here's the thing. You'll end up, when he sells it, you'll just take the tax lien as a discount. So in a lot of ways, think of it like a you got to be able to buy the property outright if you're going to do something like that. Beth, so I hope that answers your question. Hey, what's up, Chris? Adding limestone and organic matter will help. Okay, good to know. Some bunny. Oh, thanks, Captain. Okay. Oh, glad about cool neighbors. See, Matthew says about okay. Yeah, Matthew's been kind of teaching me some of that stuff, and a lot of it is just it's getting down to funding and everything else like that. Today was the first day. It wasn't what do you call it? Snowing or bad weather or super cold over the last few days. So instead of being able to get in and do what I normally do, I kind of had to hide under a blanket most of the day yesterday because today the high is 60. Yesterday the high was like 42. So it's almost a 20-degree swing day to day. But you just kind of, when it gets cold, you just kind of, and it didn't get to 42. It didn't get above freezing until the afternoon. So that was that. Okay. Holy cow. Have I properly walked this property? Okay. Huh. Okay, good to know. So part of that tree is on his property and part of this tree, the roots of the tree is on mine. Okay, good to know. All right. This is exciting because this back corner here was the one that was making me concerned. But okay. So here's the other one. As you see, I got rocks to it. So now it is, okay, let's see if we can figure out where it was, because it was a little bit off to the side. Because, okay, let's see if we can find it again, because that's the hard part. There's no way I can mark it because there's so many rocks there. I got to figure out a different way to mark it. And I may have to find it going back from the other way. But, see, this is what I do for fun. Okay. Huh. Okay. I think it's over there. See, like I said, it's a little bit off. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. So you see this big old pile of rocks? This is no. Okay. And found it. Okay. So basically it slants just a little bit. That's how I got 1.04. Because it had to slant a little bit. Okay. Because like if you look, it's that way. It should be over here. Because if I'm walking straight up the hill, because if I walk straight up the hill from that peg, so the peg's right here, okay? But if I walk straight up the hill, like in a straight line, I would be right here. So that's, as you guys can see, that's a pretty big, that explains the 1.04. But anyway, so now I know this tree here by this set of rocks. I will probably move that thing over there over to this tree and use that as kind of like an indirect marker until I can get my rock wall set up. But now I know where it is, and so now I'm able to. It's going to be really weird to fence this up. I'm not probably going to be able to. Okay, let's see. Hey, what's up, Kung Fu? Yeah. Oh, we got 12. That's cool. Beth. Okay. See what Matthew says about balancing soil. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I was asked by one of my neighbors, and it's not the first person to say anything to me, and I gotta kind of be a little bit more tactful about it. Is that this is one of the few places where you can come and live the way I live, and well, at least now I know. Okay, I still got some spot there, but I may want to put something else there, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, this is one of the few spots where we can come live off grid and be poor folk and not get ran off our land. Because not only do they want you to pay for it, but they want you to do all this other stuff because they only want people with money instead of people, sometimes you just need a piece of land to be able to like start with. Because quite frankly, once you pay the land off versus paying rent, the land's cheaper than the rent. What you're going to pay for land is what you'll pay in a year for rent. Okay, so think about it that way. So if you spend 24,000, you should expect to spend 24,000 for your land, and so instead, and you could pay it off in a year, if you're able to keep your job and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, you have a piece of land, and once it's paid off, there's no more rent. It's just yearly annual taxes. Okay. And so that means if the economy goes to shit, well, at least you've got a place to be, a place to stay, and you're not worried about, oh crap, I can't pay rent, and now I'm going to be sleeping out on the street corner. This is, in my opinion, the more I learn about this, the more I understand how this, I should have done this to begin with, but I would have, I mean, I kind of lucked into it right when I needed it. And so that's its own thing. But at the end of the day, I think if you truly want to avoid ever being homeless, even a cheap acre of land, okay, and it's not cheap as in quality, cheap as in it's not very expensive, okay, because my old man, he was very big on, it's like, it's not cheap, it's inexpensive. Cheap means quality. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, so I try and do that. This is an inexpensive piece of land, and at the end of the day, if the world falls apart, I've got it. I've got ways to get it paid off and get it taken care of, so that I'll never have to worry about going and sleeping on a street corner. I may have to live, very very simply, but at least I can live, and it's yeah, like you said, Chris, a bit of peace of mind. And that's why I'm really big with Stephanie. She's got properties in Arizona, she's got properties in Colorado, and she's got properties in Arkansas. So if you want to, she's going to be here on Tuesday. She'll answer your questions. Think about some questions over the weekend you might want to ask her if you're considering, moving into something like this. Eighth Bag Construction is great. Never heard of them. Okay, I'd build one of those earth ships, straight in the land. There's a guy, Forever Seeking Wisdom. There's a guy that tried that, and it got flooded out during the monsoons. So there is some stuff to be said, because in a lot of ways it almost seems like there's more rocks than dirt out here. I built one of those earth ships straight in the land. If you don't know them, check them out. They're pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, an earthship. I probably will do something along those lines, but not until I pay the property off, because it'd be a permanent structure. I wouldn't mind building a permanent structure, like maybe going down the hill a little bit and then just tunneling my way underneath, up to my property line, and then just kind of making sure that I stabilize it and stuff. It'd probably take me 5 years to build, but it would definitely be worth it, once I got everything up and running, including a flue. And I could keep the wind off of me for the most part, and really seal the place up. So pay your property tax, or them gum revenues will take it. Yeah, well, um, I understand that, Kung Fu. My taxes are less than $15 a year. It's not like I have to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars in taxes. Now, as I start adding to the land, once I start adding value to it, it'll have to get reassessed. I wouldn't be surprised if my taxes go up to about 150 bucks a year by the time I get this place set up the way I want it. But there's things that I've got to set up, and I want to be able to I want to put myself in a position where, regardless of what happens to the rest of the world, I have everything I need around me. And by my neighbors sharing all this different knowledge is going to teach me a whole new level of botany, and just being able to do that. And so if the whole world were to crumble, it wouldn't matter. And I'm so dug in and in a point where, one, people aren't going to really go out into the desert. Two, I'm in a point where, like, I'm hidden inside, so it's going to be kind of hard to see me, and because I'm going to put things around the entry to kind of close it up, and be like natural barriers and stuff. But for the most part, I want to be able to, have something along those lines where nobody would know I was there unless they knew me. The other ones would come after my moonshine, for shame. Hey Beth, I got some moonshine if you want it. Fuck. I had somebody gave me a bottle of moonshine. I've thought about sitting back and having a drink or two, and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like it. So, but yeah, the channel Frugal Off Grid is near you. Yes, yes, actually, I've heard about him. I was just told about him. He's like 20 miles from me. Cisterns by hand is now building his own cabin. He might be able to give you ideas, tips for that area, Tuck. Okay. No. My parents, their first date, they sat back and had some moonshine together. So, no. I'm good. I'm good. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta go inside and grab something. Okay, I got the important stuff. Could you hear me on the inside? Okay, so I've got some news that probably will not make mainstream media, and it's probably really, really important. It kind of gives you a heads up on what's coming. Great idea, but you don't get in trouble for it. Um, they can't stop me. No, they can, because with AI coming in, with surveillance drones and everything else like that, especially being as close to the border as I am. Yeah, no. Yeah, that could be an issue, but when I was walking up, because where I got my trailer at now, I couldn't even see it from the road. The only place I could see it from was coming from that direction. Is hell on earth, game over, pretty much, Lizard Hunter. But so many people talk about so many things being the mark of the beast, and it's like, no, actually, I think I found it, because in my head, that's the closest thing to the mark of the beast as I've ever heard from Christianity. So those of you who do not use or do not know about Sam Altman and OpenAI, also known as ChatGPT, what's happening is he's going to be creating his own social media platform. Why? Because you want to know what? There are so many bots that are out here, and AI agents that are just going out, just watching videos, consuming stuff like that. That's probably why you're not seeing as much viewership as you used to, is because you've got engines and agents that are doing it versus having an actual human do it. So therefore, traffic is dropping that way. But it's threatening to be, because there's so much stuff going on out there with all these bots and agents that are just pretty much spamming all of social media. What they're talking about doing is, there's a company that's called World ID. I'm sure you've heard of them, probably a few years ago. But what they're saying is, what they're going to have to do is, in order for you to post on any social media, in order for you to consume any social media, you'll have to prove that you're a real human. See, so many people are going to go, yeah, I want to prove that I'm a real human because I don't like it, not realizing what they're going into, because that sets up the infrastructure necessary for UBI. That sets up the infrastructure. Remember the 2030 video that I did, where I talked about where are keeping an eye out for it? You should probably go back and watch it again, because I could very easily see this being on the mainstream. But the thing is, they're not talking about it now. But when you start hearing about it, I want you to know what it is, so that you're informed and you can make a decision. I may, in order to keep making my money, I will, I may have to do this if I want to stay in social media. But also, what are some workarounds that you, as the end user, oh really? Is it still messing up? How's signal now, guys? Let's see here. Hold on. Okay. How's the signal? Can anybody give me a 5x5 or tell me if it's really going crappy? Because I will restart this. It was working perfectly, and then you said compound word, and now it all to hell. Is frugal, off grid, and coaches? I don't know. Go ahead and finish your smoke. It's a little better now. Keep going. Okay. All right. 5x5. All right. So it took a minute. It took a minute, but okay. Now we move past that. Are you interested in as it relates to the background of current international affairs? Okay. Okay. So what is your workaround for something like this? He's next Friday stream, every $10 in super chats you have to take a shot of moonshine. You know what? Do you know how quickly I have alcohol poisoning? But maybe instead of doing that, maybe instead I go buy me a bottle of whiskey. Okay, because if somebody has, when was the last time I had a drink? I can't even remember. That's how long it's been since I've had a drink. So me drinking, ooh, mooch. Oh, no, 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 no. This is something that yeah, no. I will, but you know what? Bucknut, that is a good idea. I will probably do something like that, but it will not be moonshine. I do not want to end up with alcohol poisoning, because what'll happen is I won't be able to get to the fucking hospital. Okay, because once I pass out, nobody's gonna know, and Sam's gonna be stuck in this trailer. Yeah, no, I know myself well enough that by the time, because I know people, like I'll get like 30, 40, 50 bucks in there. By my third shot, I'm gonna be like on borderline alcohol poisoning. So yeah, well, I'm very keen to being alive. I mean, I'm ready for it all to be over. Like, I've done everything I need to do, but I'm not going to intentionally be stupid, especially when I know what the end result's going to be. Because I'm sure Bucknut would pay $50 just to watch me fucking fall over on my face. You know, but that's a good idea. Okay, so let's get back to this now that we've kind of gotten off track a little bit. So how do you circumvent this if you don't want to go get this, this world ID thing? That's no fun. I'm willing to sacrifice your liver for my entertainment. Imagine the views. Yeah, it might be the last video I ever put up too, huh, Bucknut? Yeah. So I won't even be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So, because yeah, unless my body can, like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna work well. No. But anyways, let's get back to topic. So how do you get past this world thing? Okay. um, Hold on, I missed something. No, I don't like the taste of beer. I don't like the taste of beer. Never have, never will. Um, I'll EMS for you at some point. At some point, but you also got to have my what 3 words. I'd have to actually, like, yeah, pre-program that into my fucking phone. And then yeah, that might actually make it so I never get to come back here again, because they're gonna either put me in a program or tell me I'm not allowed to come back home. Mm. I will take a poll. And if I get enough people that say that they would be willing to pay to see me take shots on here doing super chats, I will do it Friday. It'll be something for us. But anyways, let me get back on topic. Okay, so how do you avoid this world ID thing? The easiest way to avoid it is to not go on social media. But what does that mean? That means you're gonna have to go behind paywalls. That means you're gonna have to be going through websites and stuff like that. And the thing is now you really have to pay for your freedom. If you want to be able to have the right to have your right of privacy, then you are going to have to pay for it. And one of the ways that you can do it, if you find value in, you think the channel is worth it, would be to go and get a membership over on Patreon, because that's not going to require a digital ID or that. As long as you've got money and a you know what? You may be forced into it with your bank, because as OpenAI decides to adopt it and integrate it, that means X and Facebook and YouTube and all these other platforms are going to immediately require that anybody that does it does a real ID or a digital ID, that is tied to that account. Now, I don't know how they're going to prevent people from circumventing it, because I mean, if I do an account and then I send a bot in there under my name, what's the difference? Um, Okay, that would be cool, Bucknut. Don't buy more than a pint was the when the last time you drank. Um, oh, shit. I know I had a drink here and there with some people along the way, but the last time I got drunk, would probably have to be, no, the last time I drank was New Orleans last year. That was the last time I drank, when I was train hopping. Yeah, I ran across a dude. Samantha, would y'all stop being baboons on our boy? He fell in a fire. Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. With uh yeah, this is another reason why I know. No, I've never been that drunk in my whole entire life. Okay, I've never been that drunk. It was a farewell to Slack. Thank you for showing me the rails. So they like to drink, and so I went and bought a bottle of rum and a peck of smokes and passed it all around. Well, somehow the bottle of rum and the pack of smokes were gone, and so I sent him to the store, and he came back with it, brought me the receipt, whole 9 yards. He came back with it, and I remember the cigarettes. I remember taking one, and then I don't remember what happened to that second bottle of rum, but apparently I passed out. And then when I got up and stood up, I fell face first into the fire. And then apparently I got they pulled me out of the fire. And then I decided I wanted to go swim in the fire. So they had to pull me out of the fire again. My whole right arm, I'm surprised it's not permanently scarred. Like this whole right arm from here to here, you can see pictures of it. If you go back in my post long enough, you'll see pictures of it. I took that that was me getting seriously shit faced. But you know what? I think part of the reason why I did it is because I trusted the people I was around enough to where I felt safe letting myself go, because I've never gotten that drunk in my life. And a lot of people usually try and get you drunk so that they can swindle you or take you out, take you advantage of you and stuff like that. And I got hip to that real quick. I had some people in Eugene that tried to do that shit to me, and they're like, dude, you are the most sober drunk I've ever met. And I'm like, well, because I know how to handle my alcohol. But that night I didn't. That night I did not. Oh God, yeah, I was that was messed up. Okay. Um oh wait, right. Okay. No, good. Yeah, you told us of a story about Slack and Fishbone and falling in a fire. Yeah, that's the story. Like once a year I tend to drink. So I wouldn't mind. I've been thinking about it lately. Even Joanna's been saying, why oh God, yeah, give me a rum and coke and I'm happy. Joanna has said that has even said, why don't you get one? Because I keep saying, I want one, but I don't want to drink. I don't want to spend my money on that. Da, 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 da. I got more important money to spend, and I don't want to. Da, da, da. But I've kind of gotten that sweet tooth. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll put it together and say, hey, like Tuck's drinking game. Well, it'll be for mature audience. So keep your children away from the TV or the computer. But most of you guys, you're empty nesters, anyways. So, anyways, that is that. I just wanted to say happy Easter to y'all, and I wanted to show you the property and just have a talk and kind of show you some stuff that I learned. Now, if you are going to do the morning live stream, so I want to be able to have uncensored content. Okay, I want to be uncensored, completely uncensored. Okay, so in order to be able to do that, I have to move the audience that wants the uncensored material. I need them to move over to Patreon. For the first couple of weeks, I'm going to put days. I'm going to put in the community tab so that people can see. Got a bottle of Screwball, low proof, tastes like peanut butter. Ooh, bucknut. Send me a picture. I want if they have that, does it taste like peanut butter? I might like that flavor since I like peanut butter so damn much. But anyways, the way that this is gonna go is that I need to have a place where I can, let out, say what I want to say, without it. Because the thing is I'm so public with my life. I need to be able to have. I'm right out here in the middle of nowhere. I swear. I bet you it's all these damn planes flying overboard. Anyways, well, am I done? Am I done being choppy, or am I still being choppy? Best chaser for screwball. Yeah, Wiz. That'd probably be vanilla. Ew, gross. I can't stand the taste of vanilla. All right, is the signal getting better? Okay, so this is the way it's gonna work. Okay, I'm hoping this works. Otherwise, but this is the way it's gonna work. Come on over to Patreon. I'll post it in the community tab, and for the first couple of days, anytime I do an interview, it will be public. No need for a chaser. It's working. Okay. There's no there's the thing is though is it's going to be put behind a paywall. Why does it have to be put behind a paywall? Because as you see how much is coming out, and the fact that AI is being this censorship engine, is so important that we have a place and not worry about, if I say something, am I going to get my social credit score screwed up? Because we're going that route. The way that Donald Trump is destroying this economy, because I just recently heard, apparently they're not talking. The only talk that they've had from Xi Jinping is tell your administrators to stop bad mouthing us and stop taking aggressive actions towards us, and then we'll sit down and talk. So that's apparently the only conversation that Trump and Xi Jinping have had. He's keeping his cards close to the vest because basically they don't want to come to the table. Okay, but with all this censorship going on, and it started in 2020, and it will continue to get worse year after year. So come on over to Patreon, get behind a paywall, $5 a month. Okay, that'll get you access to the morning live streams where we can sit back and say what we really want to say without actually having to worry about anything. Okay, so with that being said, guys, I will see you tomorrow morning on Patreon. It will be open to free members. So if you don't have Real ID is being required May 7th of this year. No, what you're talking about is a little gold star. The gold star is different. That's a gold star. Digital ID is much different. It is your online ID card. In the same way that you have a driver's license, you will now have to have an online ID card. DFHA farmers market close to Tuck. No, there's no farmers market. Well, actually there is. But they don't. The store. I'm never going back to Jiffy again, especially after what the tiff that me and the manager had. And I'm just going to keep it quiet, and I'm going to. I'll talk about it tomorrow when I'm behind walls. Thanks for reminding me. I got to get that squared away. Yeah. Well, your ID should have expired by now and had a new one. But anyways, come on tomorrow. If you're not a free member over on Patreon, it'll be posted in the community tab. That will probably be the last day or two that it happens. And I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow on Patreon. I got my Patreon page as the first come join. Yes, I got my Patreon badge as the first come join. Yes, moments. Yes, you are. So come join. I will see you guys tomorrow morning.